Well, Shemai everyone. I've realised earlier on that I haven't actually shared my up-to-date Project Life pages. Well, I say up-to-date, I'm already a fortnight behind since I became up-to-date. So the last time I showed you anything was the 26th of April. I know I did actually do something for the Scrap Academy, but I thought I'd show you the rest of my pages as well. So I'm going back to the 27th of April. And as I always say in when I talk about my Project Life, I don't use matching collections because I haven't got enough time to go through and find everything. I tend to have all my cards sorted either vertically or horizontal designs and filler cards and quotes and things like that. So I just tend to flick through and find whatever pattern I like. I'm just shutting my window because there's now like the Hound of the Baskervilles out there. So this is what I did. I've got some photos of my mum's little dog, Izzy. She's an absolute delight. And this was actually one long quote, but I split it because I wanted it to go in the two pockets. I love these memes on Facebook. 4 stages of quarantine. I'm currently this one, I think. And I'm talking there about lockdown, another week of walking, crafting, creating, YouTube videos, visiting the house build and staying safe. And when I look back now at the house build, wow, we've come on such a long way since then. So that's that week. So that's week 18. But as you can see, I have tried to keep my colours fairly close together. So this then is the 4th of May, and May the 4th be with you. And I started a marathon in May. So it wasn't one full marathon. It was to try to cover 26 miles in May for a local children's hospice, and I actually managed to complete 2 marathons. I need to do a little bit more of this. I also hit 900 subscribers, which is a huge thing, and I'm so delighted I've gone past that again. So I love these little cards which give you bullet points so you can just sort of talk about the highlights of your week. It was V-Day, so my mum and I created afternoon tea. We delivered it to her cousin and her husband and to my mum's neighbours, and we had an absolutely fabulous time. Then more videos, more cards, and then more changes at the house build again. As you can see on this one, there's a bit more of a mix-up in colours. Then week 20, the 11th of May, I finally hit 1,000 subscribers. Now this is a bit of a strange one. These are Flick and Flack, and we use them to teach Welsh in school. And when my boss was going into school one day, he said, "Is there anything you'd like?" And I said, "Could you just pick up Flick and Flack for me?" And he put them in the post. And then I didn't see them for a long time, and I thought they'd been kidnapped, to be honest, my puppets. And then they eventually arrived. So I sent him this photo to say that they were safely with me. For this one, this was a simple card. I had this in a phrase pack, and I simply stuck it onto a patterned card. Then I'm trying to be better on my diet. At this point, it all goes to pot since then. Then another fun fold card. Izzy came to school and found a giraffe in the toy cupboard, and it's now her giraffe. She wouldn't leave school without it. Then this is the first level of the house down the block and beam we're in, and I'm talking about that there. Week 18th of May, so this is week 21, and I was delighted to be asked to be one of the teachers for a Scrap Academy. So I did a screenshot of the design team. Then I hit 200 followers on Instagram, so I talked about that there. Timber frame starts to go up in the house, and that's from the outside. And I've started to try to use more stamps. So there we go, looking from the top of the garden. That was a big change then. And once again, one of the highlight cards, I did a YouTube hop, which I made this album layout for, and the theme was a fresh start. And then I've talked there about a bit of an overview of the week. What a great week. Scrap Academy announcement, 200 followers on Instagram. Timber frame is growing. I did a virtual book quiz for school. YouTube hop and the sun is shining. We had the most stunning weather. Now this is one that I've actually done a process video for, and I used lots of lovely printable papers from Thoughtful Studio on Etsy. And the great thing is about printable papers, you can print off as many of one pattern as you like. You can print them in different sizes. So that's what I did. So there we go. My husband and I were doing lots and lots of lovely walks. And then I've talked there about how we've lived here 23 years and we've found walks that we've never seen before. Then one of my Scrap Academy challenges. Then every year I like to take a photo of my dad's roses, because when he passed away, he entrusted my mum and I to look after them. And to be honest, we don't do an awful lot with them, but they are absolutely flourishing. Perhaps they just like to be left alone. So this is week 23. And once again, the memes. I love these memes. Anyone who doesn't like musicals, because people don't just start singing and dancing all of a sudden in real life, have obviously never visited my house. Then that arrow here is pointing to my house being built. Bizarrely, I tidied my school cupboard. But that's the sort of thing, you wouldn't put this in a 12 by 12 album, because in the future people flicking through would think, what on earth is she on about? But in a Project Life album, it's got a place. I love these little quotes. Again, these are from Thoughtful Studio, so these are printables. Izzy dragged out my lovely slippers. And then my first class for Scrap Academy. There we go. Oh, week 24. So then I like this card here, Never Stop Looking Up, because I'm actually looking at our house. The ceiling joist went in and the next level of the house. More cards. This was really sad. We had to clear everything away in the classrooms before the children could come back, because in Wales, the First Minister decided that the Education Minister decided that they could come back the 29th of June for at least, they want them to have at least 3 days schooling before the summer holidays. But we had to clear our classrooms completely of everything, which was really sad. Then I found these photos of my nephew. Now my nephew is 18 next month. Look how dinky he was. So then I'm talking about how we're going back to school, and I was teaching groups of less than 8. And then our choice of tiles for our bathrooms, which we need to start ordering actually. Lockdown has made it so difficult because we desperately need to go and choose bathrooms and tiles and lights, and I mean that's just nothing in comparison to what other people have gone through, but that's what we are sort of struggling with at the moment. Then this was the day I was emptying the cement mixer and taking the cement up to my husband. So I'm talking there about labelling at the plot and preparing to go back to school. This card I made using one of the lovely collections once again from Thoughtful Studio. Then I tried another new fold. My mum made these pinnies for the girls in work so we could keep our hand sanitizers, pens, etc. They're an absolute godsend. And then my lovely friend Jodie sent me this stunning rainbow with this gorgeous card, be a flamingo in a flock of pigeons, and a lovely bag and a card which I think was absolutely fab. Week 26. Once again, the weather was still glorious. It's taken a turn for the worse, sadly, lately. More crafts, more walks with Izzy. Then we got temporary stays in. Somebody messaged me too how lovely my stays were. These are temporary. They're made out of scaffolding boards. They won't be staying. Then House on the Hill cut file challenge for Scrap Academy. Another glorious walk in the lovely area we live in. And this was my last week before going back to school. So this is week 27, and this was the most bizarre week I've ever had in my teaching career, because I literally had 4 children in a class at the most, which just, although you think, oh, that'd be nice to have a small class, it's bizarre. So I actually took a photo. You can't see the children's faces, but I had 2 little boys playing football in the yard. Now, usually if there was a football in the yard, my class would be going bonkers. And they tend to play football, little children. Like, can you remember the Anthill mob? where they all used to chase, all those little policemen used to chase, or the gangsters or mobsters, whatever they were. That's how they usually play football, but today there was just 2 children. Then the gable ends went on the house. So this is actually the attic room. Another class for Scrap Academy. I love this quote. There are so many beautiful reasons to smile. And I think that was a smaller Project Life card, which I just stuck onto another one. And then I love my Timehop Memories. A year ago, I was doing the mud run on residential with children. It's just so sad to think that our year 6 this year missed out on all that. Week 28. Oh, the day my husband fell off the scaffolding. Luckily enough, there was somebody working next door who managed to jump across to help him back up. But he had some really nasty cuts all over his arms. The roof trusses went on. This is me showing my lockdown hair. Now, I've got naturally curly hair and it's got a mind of its own at the best of times. But when it hadn't been cut for about 20 weeks or something ridiculous, then it got very, very big. I had this beautiful present of a little girl in my class. Thank you, Mrs. Richards, for being the best lockdown teacher in 2020. We had these stuck everywhere in school. And obviously, being in Wales, they're translated into Welsh as well. This is the most horrific photo ever of me. Now I'm there. There's my husband, there's my friend from school. And we take part in a local race on New Year's Eve. And we were dressed up as jockeys. But honestly, that must be either the most unflattering angle, because it looks like I haven't got a neck. Then this is my nephew's new horse, Bo. So we went to meet him. And he's absolutely gorgeous. So this is actually the last week of school, which is really, really weird. And once again, more and more changes at the house, because this is my craft space, because the stud walls went in as well, and I could actually walk around up there. I got a bit emotional. Then I wrote a poem for our year 6 children, which all the staff performed. We all read a verse each, and then we sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow. The felt and batten went on our roof. Then this is my last day of school, and I popped over the plot and ended up at the top of the scaffolding, lifting all the battens up. Soffits and fascias went on the roof, and then felt and batten on the roof. That's week 29, and that's as far as I've got. I've got to catch up now with July. How are you all doing with yours? I must be honest, I'm still absolutely loving it. And I just know that I'll do it again next year. So thank you for joining me. See you soon with July and August. Take care, friendiau. Hwyl fawr.